Of course, winter in Maine isn't only about high-octane thrills and the short, dark days of winter. Many people bundle up and shuffle onto our frozen lakes and streams.
And the reward for their patience and cold fingers and toes is a fresh catch of fish. Mike Slifer shows us that many people who ice fish are saying the season is shrinking, and the data seems to back them up.
Yeah.
This is so tight. I usually don't really start prepping until after I get a deer, but once I get a deer,
This is Christy Holmes.
then I really start thinking about ice fishing season.
Christy is an avid angler and outdoors enthusiast. As you heard, one of her biggest hobbies is...
We're serious ice fishermen too. We don't just go out drinking. We're fishing.
Christy is used to spending time on the water when it's like this, and when it's like this. When you're this experienced outdoors, you tend to notice when things are changing.
We used to fish like in December on Sabatis Pond, for example, because they allow live bait in December. And last year we couldn't because the ice wasn't quite safe enough.
Ice out dates are not what they used to be. For those not familiar, ice out dates are the beginning and the ending dates of the ice season. The season when lake ice is thick enough to safely ice fish and snowmobile.
I'll like drive by a pond a couple days before I plan on fishing it just to check out, is anyone else on the ice? Do they have snowmobiles? Do they have shacks out? Things like that.
The ice out dates used to start earlier and go later than they do now.
A long time ago, I stumbled upon information about ice out dates.
Erland is a semi-retired consultant who works with the Maine state government.
There was no one else who'd written about it or knew much about it, and so I wrote about it.
He used to be the director of public lands for Maine. He says the data on ice outs, which goes back for centuries, is not pretty.
And the other thing that intrigues me about ice out dates is that it's a variable that integrates a lot of influences. It doesn't just, it's not like just temperature, which is temperature, that's all it is. But what it does is it integrates the regime of temperature, it integrates rainfall, it integrates snow, it integrates wind.
Ice out data and ice duration data reveal the long-term trends in Maine's climate. Ice duration has declined significantly from the 19th into the 20th century.
That's huge. It's like 20 days earlier in a lot of our lakes in Maine.
20 whole days of change is not a small number. It's nearly a quarter of the winter alone. What's worse is it's becoming harder to predict any ice out date at all because extreme weather fluctuation is replacing consistent winter weather in Maine.
It's lakes just like this, Crystal Lake here in Gray, Maine, where people have noticed that winters have become a bit more volatile and ice duration maybe not as long.
Christy even sees the changes on Maine's rivers. Take smelt fishing, for example.
Last year the season was pretty short, and it's such a great Maine tradition to go out there at night and catch smelts and fry them up. So it's really special, and it would be disappointing if the season keeps getting shorter every year.
Shorter lake ice outs for ice fishing. Shorter river smelt fishing seasons. These are becoming a new way of life in Maine. These are the result of our warming climate and will be a defining factor in Maine's winters for years to come.